Episode 77 of the Planet Nintendo podcast. Let's see what's on the menu for today. Ian picks what games we've been playing, what games are coming out soon, Nintendo first party scheduling. How are they doing with that? Is the Switch a good primary console? We're going to be talking about E3 for the first time, what to expect from Nintendo's E3, and one bold E3 prediction. So let's get it started. Good. What's up, guys? We're pros here. Welcome back to the most consistent Nintendo podcast on the internet. And I'm joined once again by my amazing co-host, Joe After Work. What's up, dude?
Yo, what's going on? Oh man, I'm on the left side. This feels weird. It's like, what's going on? What's up? No, I'm good.
The band's back together. Bobby?
This isn't if we ran Nintendo or Nintendo PlayStation.
Whoa,
we're consistent over there.
We're gonna be a cult.
Is that what this is? Yeah. Somebody have to kill themselves. Somebody have to kill themselves soon.
So guys, I feel like I haven't seen you in like
2 months.
like you disappeared off Twitter and Discord for like
What?
Bobby, what are you playing? What are you playing on that?
Dude,
Switch?
a lot. I just finished up SteamWorld Quest a couple weeks ago. I've been playing Fortnite as always. I love that Avengers stuff that they throw at us.
Yep.
Dude, so much. I jumped into a little Final Fantasy 10X. Just bought Final Fantasy 12. I bought Lego DC Villains for $5 at Best Buy.
Whoa,
between the discount, right? Then it was already on sale, right? Then they gave me Gamers Unlocked discount. Then I had a coupon, so I literally paid $5 for the thing. So I was like, "This is a nice little surprise." Yeah. So
I want to check that out. It has all the voice acting.
yeah, it's good stuff, man. It looks, I haven't got a chance to really play it yet, but I do have it. It's gonna be pretty good stuff. Let me see if there's anything else here real quick. I think it's been so long since we've done this, Pat. I don't even know how to do this. I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the community. Loving the hell out of that game. Jumped back into Zero Drifter a little bit because I want to beat that game. Super Bloody Hockey, which is very much like the original hockey, ice hockey on the NES, except for there's blood all over the place. Box Boy plus Box Girl I've been playing. Katana Zero. Cuphead. This trash ass game called Labo VR. I played that literally for like 3 demos and then was ready to just lose my lunch all over the place. And we'll wrap it up with my time in Portilla. So those are the games I've been playing. A lot.
Jeez, so nothing much. Joe, what about you, man?
Dude, I'm gonna have to go back to the list too because it's been a hot minute since I've been on. Work has bombarded me.
Yeah.
But man, I'll start off with this past week. Just like Bobby, SteamWorld Quest. I'm on the last chapter. I was just starting it right before we went on. Dragon's Dogma. I originally bought that on the PS3 when that launched for the Resident Evil 6 demo, and I'm finally actually being able to play it. And I slept on this game. Action RPG people. You might want to pick this one. It's like a third-person arcadey Skyrim is probably the best way to explain it.
Yeah. When that game came out, Skyrim came out like around the same time, and it was just like
really
no competition. Yeah, it was no competition.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 11. Of course, that enough said there. Final Fantasy 12. Giga Wrecker Alt, which is a Game Freak game that dropped. I'm half and half right now on it. It's a solid platformer, but the puzzles make me feel really, really dumb at times. So I'm stuck in an area right now, and I can't even figure out where I got to get these last 2 energy cells to open up to the boss that I got to fight. So feeling a little dumb there right now. Again, like Bobby, Cuphead, I beat that game.
Damn.
Wait, you beat
There was
Cuphead?
one- Yeah, I beat Cuphead. I beat it in like a weekend.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's insane.
What?
Well.
In like three, I think we beat it in like 3 streams or something like that. It was like 3-4 hour streams. Like I spent like 10-12 hours on that game.
Mm.
That's why
It's
his
hard.
hair is gray now.
Nah, it's a hard game, dude. No
It
joke.
is hard.
Yep.
That's probably everything for the moment. Yeah, for now.
Nice. Yeah, I actually picked up. You guys are gonna kill me. I picked up Dragon's Dogma on the PS4 because that was $9.
Ooh. Yeah,
And-
dude.
Yeah, dude, it's so cheap. I love like the Switch hype because then you can get it elsewhere. That's not what Bobby wants to hear. But that's a game that I probably wouldn't play handheld anyway because like big open world games, I feel like I can't see like the whole game. I don't know. I have glasses. And then this month we have some good games coming out, dude. Crystal Crisis, pumped for that. And then what is it? Sonic Racing. I know Sonic is a heaping ball of garbage, but that game looks really good. I saw
You
some
know what,
gameplay.
man? They jacked that game up. The one on the was it the Wii U? I think it was, had a lot of characters and stuff in it, and a lot of unlockable characters. They cut it back just to Sonic characters. Nobody cares about Sonic characters.
You're gonna have to sell me on that game. I'm still not.
It looks good.
Mm.
I think it was GameSpot that put up like a gameplay, and it looks solid, dude. And then Shakedown Hawaii comes out this month.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a million Resident Evil games.
I'm not buying them. I was going to. I was legitimately going to buy them, stream them, and done.
I'm gonna wait for a sale.
Oh yeah.
The only thing is, I swear I keep hearing Echo again,
Yeah, I hear Echo on you.
and I'm hearing Echo on
It
you.
was on me for
So-
a bit, but I had.
If somebody has the volume high in their ears, that could be why we're hearing it.
I don't know.
I can't even control volume on this thing. What am I doing?
Discord. What are you doing,
A
Discord?
lot of things.
But yeah.
So yeah, but for me, I'm not doing that. Like you can't give me 4-in-1 or 3-in-1, or you're gonna charge me that much money for them. You're on crack. I'm not messing with it.
Well, I already have the superior versions on my Nintendo Wii, so I don't need to double dip. Shut up. The blaster. Okay, so let's get into the first topic today, and it's kind of a random one, kind of a quick one. So if you look at the release schedule, or the release like pacing for, I'm just talking about Nintendo first-party games. It seems like the beginning of the year is a little scarce, a little random, 2D platformers, Labo, things like that. And then the last half of the year is just like really packed, like Smash Bros. This year we have like Fire Emblem, Luigi's Mansion, like who knows about Animal Crossing if that's going to get any kind of delay or anything. So
Where are you coming with that
I
nonsense?
just want to,
Where are you coming with that nonsense? Don't be listening to the internet.
I'm not, no, I just said that right.
Yeah, but
I
there's a lot of these YouTubers that are saying that the thing's going to get delayed.
Yeah.
It ain't getting delayed.
I don't know. But there's still like the Pokemon games coming out. So, I don't know. I wanted to ask you guys what you think of the pacing and scheduling for Nintendo first-party games. Should they make more of an effort to maybe delay games so that we have a steady stream, or is it just like when games are ready, let's just release them?
I mean, year one was, I think, a rarity for Nintendo, and I think it was easy to do year one because you set yourself up, you get all your ducks in a row, and you go, okay, this is what we're doing, and then reality kicks in, and it's like any other game company. Like you put them out when they come out. The only thing that I would do is, if I was Nintendo, the only thing that I would do is, if I had 2 games that were ready now, I would probably look and go, okay, I'm not going to launch them both at the same time. I'm going to push one and do one time and one the other. I wouldn't do them both the same month. But otherwise, I think they're doing fine. I think they're, we have a decent, we're going to be very heavy-handed the second half of this year.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with what they're doing.
Because the only reason why I bring that up is because we had a big conversation before about how ARMS basically was killed by Splatoon 2. It just seems like they're releasing things sporadically. I think multiplayer games they have to be a little bit more cautious of. But I don't know. They're so diverse. Like Nintendo has so many IPs that releasing a Fire Emblem and releasing like a Pokemon game, I don't know. I don't feel like they cut into each other that much. But Joe, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, like Bobby was saying, that year one was an anomaly for Nintendo. I mean, that I don't ever really seen happening unless it absolutely needs to happen, where Nintendo finds himself backed into a corner, and I don't think they're back into a corner anymore. So they can take this time now to really partner up with indies like they have been these last couple of years. Get more third parties on board, not so much for the ports that we have and will continue to be getting, but for some of the newer projects and some games that you maybe might not find anymore on a Sony console due to certain restrictions that they have.
Yeah.
I think we're at that point now where they have to start. They can't announce games too early, and I think that's what they're doing right now. Is they want to be careful with the games that they're working on, not saying anything like they did with what unfortunately was the case with Metroid, where they now had to cancel it and had to update everybody, and the hype has just been insane for that game.
Yeah.
For a game that, mind you, probably would have sold the same way Metroid 2 the remake sold.
The Metroid fan, I love it. I love it. I mean, if you look at it as a whole, I feel like Nintendo must know when the third-party games are coming out, because overall this year we've had a pretty good balance of like releases and stuff like that. But there are some people that just buy Nintendo games, and if they're not using their Switch for multiple months in a row, it kind of like loses momentum a little bit.
But I mean, that's like with any console. I would argue, where I'm not always like, every person has a different preference in terms of what they always use. They're gonna have that one console that's always in use, and then maybe another one that they use every now and again. And then you have the people that get everything, like myself and Bobby, who will have all the different consoles, but not use the other two as often as we use our Switches. Is that fair to say, Bobby?
Yeah, you're on that, definitely. I agree. I don't know, man. I think that what they're doing is fine. I think that they have the luxury of strong third party support, which they didn't have with the Wii U. So it allows them to kind of sit back a little bit and pick and choose what comes out. I feel like they definitely dropped the ball a little bit year one. They put too much stuff out, in my opinion. They probably could have pushed. I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to go like, "Hey man, here is our gigantic Super Nintendo Peen. Here, just take it on the chin." And more or less, they were just like, "Here's everything we got," But there's games like we talked about it. ARMS should have been pushed to year 2. Definitely should have been pushed to year 2. I think ARMS year 2. No, none of this slow release that they did. Everything all there from day one. I think that's a different tale for that game. I really do. But like what they're doing now, it makes sense to me. It's fine. Like you have so many games hitting right now. I don't know what we need really. I'm pretty content with my Switch.
Yeah. There's so many third-party games coming out right now, and I mean, we're getting all these Final Fantasy games that I would have not guessed ever would actually manage to fall on a Nintendo console within like a 2-3 month span.
Yeah, like this coming week, Saints Row's
Yeah,
out.
Dude.
Yeah, talk about big peens. Like that thing's got like dildo baseball bats and stuff. Like that's right up Pat's alley, man. He's like he's like day one purchase for me.
I saw some gameplay. It's
interesting.
It's interesting. It's a little rough. So actually, this goes into the next topic pretty well. So for the longest time, I think I honestly say since the GameCube, I don't think that Nintendo had a console that you could have as a primary console. Like you always need some complementary things. Like with the Wii, yeah, the motion control was good, but I feel like you needed like a 360 with it. The Wii U, again, it was gimmicky. Not many games like PS4 or something like that. The Switch, though, and this is the topic here, is the Switch a good enough console to use like as a primary console? Do you feel like the Switch can hold its own? Do you need a complementary console? I mean, we all have multiple consoles. Like I've been using the Switch PS4 combo lately. That's been doing me pretty well.
That's right. That's right.
You're such a loser.
But I wanted to ask you, like, can the Switch hold its own? I mean, but think about it though. Like, yeah, we have a lot of third-party games and first-party games, but
Listen, stop the nonsense. Seriously,
I want to get
no because it's the truth, man. First off, what is PlayStation bringing right now? What do they have? Oh, they just did Days Gone. My bad. But that was it. I'm just saying, like they've done Days Gone, but
they got Rage too.
But like what I'm saying is there is both companies have a slow trickle right now. They don't have an abundance of games right now.
The show.
Oh, would you stop, dude? That's every year. Every year, it's the same thing. It's become Madden of baseball. Like, please, give me a break with that bullshit. So, the truth is that like I feel like Nintendo is. I just rattled off 5 games that I'm playing at the top of the show. Like, what more would I need to make my life complete and happy? I don't have enough time to play the games that I have already. I don't know that I can't look at the Switch and go, this is not a priority console. This is not my go-to console. It is. I haven't touched, so I've been here for almost a year now. I've not touched my Xbox One or my PS4 in that time. They're not even hooked up. They're on the shelf. They're just not hooked up. So, for me, I feel like absolutely the Switch is the perfect, console. For me. For me, it's the perfect console because I have so many games to play. And then when Nintendo does put out a good first-party game, I get excited. And I'm like, here we go. And I can spend some time playing that. I'll be very blunt. They haven't put out a good first-party game in a while. But I see some. Nintendo. Yeah, I see some coming soon.
Okay.
I would say since December they haven't put out a good first party game.
Ooh, those are fighting.
They're facts.
I like Yoshi. I know you.
Yoshi
like
sucks. That's horrible. The game's horrible.
Joe, you own multiple consoles. PC,
Yes.
PS4, Xbox, Dreamcast, anything?
Dreamcast, Dreamcast, best console. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, to answer your question, I would say yes is the short answer. However, I think it's still, and I don't want to take the cheap way out. I feel like this is a preference question. I think it's what caters to your game style, I guess. And I'm not gonna do a good job of explaining this right, but I feel like if you're looking for something that's going to look slightly more realistic, a lot more third-person, first-person games that require that Twitch-based shooting, those high FPSs and whatnot, then yeah, you're going to want to go with one of the other consoles or even a PC. But if you enjoy just playing whatever, you like the creative art styles and of like a Zelda, a Mario, doing a bad job of like just kind of naming the Steam world, really just different unique titles. I think yes, then the Switch would be for you. With that said, there are a lot of third-party games and a lot of indie games that are on the Switch. They might not look like their best versions, but they play just as well. And I mean, Mortal Kombat is probably the perfect example of this. I played through that entire story, and I will say that they pulled off getting 60 FPS on that game, pretty okay. But graphically, you could tell where they took the hits very dramatically on that game. But it plays just as well as a PS4 or an Xbox One version. I would argue at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
It's just the cutscenes
I feel
and
like if
whatnot.
you like a third person linear game that makes it look and feel like it's open world, but it's not open world, PlayStation's your console. If you like different games from a first party company, then yeah, then I feel like Nintendo is more your cup of tea. Because, dude, you can't tell me and I know that this is gonna piss people off, but like I feel like the best games at a PlayStation are the same games. God of War, Last of Us, Uncharted, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, the new one, Days Gone. Like they're third-person games. They're great.
Yeah,
They're very similar, like in terms of like what you're doing. You're going point A to point B. You're going through. You're battling. You're doing your stuff, but it's very lineal. It's very like you're kind of just doing whatever. So don't get me wrong, they're fantastic games, and I'm not knocking them at all. But I'm just saying, like, there's a definition between both consoles, and if you're into what Nintendo does, and you want a multitude of indie games, and some really good third party games, then I think Nintendo's your way to go. If you like these big, huge, glitzy games, then it's definitely not the way to go, and you should go to PlayStation. And you should never own an Xbox, because everything's going to come to the Switch anyway, so you're fine.
I think that all three major consoles, I don't think any of them really are like enough to have just that console. But I think the Switch is the closest. I think the only thing holding the Switch back is third party performance, because we're getting third party games, but like when I see like a PS4 game I'm interested in, I never go on YouTube and type in so and so gameplay or so like how does this run on the PS4. But on the Switch, like I've been burned a couple times, like a couple racing games, like Grip did not perform well. A game that I was talking on this podcast for months, Xenon Racer, is terrible on the Switch and doesn't even run. So it's like I was hyped
Horizon.
Like,
I know.
months.
Horizon or Forza. Forza's coming too. You're good.
Forza
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do. What was that other one? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know you're looking for more realistic type racing games or whatever. That other one that was kind of like Cruising USA was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon something. That was a pretty good game.
Yeah. Oh, Horizon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh,
I know that like V Rally's out. There's another game, but it's like I think the third-party performance is the only thing really holding the Switch back, because you have portability, you have like unique first-party games. I think it's the first Nintendo console since the GameCube to be like, okay, I can just own a Switch.
Yeah.
Dave bought a Switch. Everyone.
Did he really?
Nice.
Yeah, he got a Switch.
Yes.
It's all that YouTube money. It's all that YouTube money, man.
Something. Yep, he's famous now.
He's famous.
So yeah, I think if you just have a Switch, you're good. Good. Okay, now we're going to E3 mode.
You good.
You're good for.
I know. Dude, I had to delete games off mine because I filled up the 400 gig. Like,
Archive them.
well, I didn't delete them. I just
So it's
whatever. I did that.
See,
Yeah.
Joe has like 500 Switch games, but he'll still play his Game Boy Color.
You're damn right I would.
It's like Metroid 2 again.
Let's go.
All right, so for the first time this year, and it's just over a month away, is E3 2019. How the hell is it already May? I don't know, but we're talking about E3 now, and I just kind of wanted to go. This first part, we have 2 E3 segments or topics today. First one is what should we expect? Because Sony's not doing theirs. We have Xbox and Nintendo. I would say going up against each other. I mean, they're friends,
No, I
but
think
they're
like
frenemies.
I think they're actually going to. I think both of them are looking at it like, how do we make Sony regret not being here this year? I think that's the ultimate goal for both companies.
I hope so. E3 is such a cool thing. It's like biggest stage. But I will start with Bobby. What to expect? Like this whole thing. I hate this saying. Temper your expectations. What can we see from Nintendo this
I mean, I
year?
think it's pretty plausible and pretty. I think we wind up seeing another Nintendo World Championships. I think or some type of tournament style thing with Mario Maker 2 coming out right after E3. I think they're going to want to hype it up that way. I think it's pretty blunt and obvious now we're going to see Animal Crossing at E3. I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is going to be shown there. I think we get our first glimpse of Bayonetta 3 there. I think there's a lot of stuff that's coming. I think we get Rare Replay there. I think both companies announced that. Ori is going to finally get announced. This Forza game, I think, is going to get announced. There's a lot of stuff that we kind of know. There's some questions, but I think there's a lot of stuff that we already know, and I think that definitely Nintendo, we didn't get the typical April Direct, and we didn't get the one that all the people promised us, obviously. But that being said, I think we didn't get it because Nintendo was like, okay, this is our opportunity to drop the hammer on Sony. And how do we do that? We just really let the guns fly. So things that people are heavily rumored to talk about that are coming, I think they get announced at E3. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo does announce the games that were rumored, meaning Link to the Past, meaning Metroid Prime Trilogy. We get those announced. We get a brand new DLC character for Smash announced. Would not be surprised at all if Persona 5 legitimately comes to the Switch, and they announce it at E3, along with that Persona 5 R that's coming out. Would not be surprised if we hear Realm Royale come out. Would not be surprised in the least if we hear that Overwatch comes to the Switch. Because there was a year ago that Blizzard said that this thing is playable on the Switch. We have it running on the Switch, and that was right around the time that Diablo went out. So there's some interesting stuff. Right there,
it's funny. We always talk about Fortnite, but like 2 years ago when the Switch first came out, we were like, oh my god, Overwatch would be a giant announcement. And still in 2019, it would be like just as impactful. Whoever gets their game on the Switch this year, meaning what Battle Royale game comes, I think coming to the Switch pushes them forward. Because I don't care what anybody says. That coming to Switch last year, Fortnite, blew up. Like, everybody started playing it. Like, let's be honest, that Discord, the Mub Discord at the time, everybody started playing. And it was like, my mind was blown at E3. Like, how many people were jumping in and playing it for the first time? And it was like, this is nuts. So I think it's a very similar story. Astral Chain, that's another one that I think we find out about. But Peanage in the chat, he brought it up, and I think I'm excited to see that one too. Oh yeah, Astral Chain. Yep. So I want to branch out a little bit from what you said. How realistic would it be for Microsoft to release a Game Pass-esque app on the Switch? I mean, if you build up a big enough library, that seems a little bit more appealing. Because I mean, Cuphead is $20. You have Forza. You have Rare Replay. I feel like that's enough. Maybe they do like a micro, like $5 a month type of thing.
Someone stole my bold claim.
Ooh.
I think.
Sorry about that.
I mean, I think it's plausible, but I think there's a couple of things that has to happen. One, what has to happen is obviously Nintendo approval. Two is the fact of like they kind of have to figure out what they're doing with it, like what games are actually coming to the Switch. They are starting to build quite a library on the Switch, which kind of blows me away. Yeah. I never would have thought that we'd be getting the amount of games coming to the Switch from Microsoft.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games. So I think we could see possible. But that one's way. I don't think that happens now. I think that's down the line.
We said before that Nintendo Switch Online is cheap enough where you can do some other services. Like, I don't know. Joe, what do you think? 2019 Nintendo. What can
Oh
we
man.
expect?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a safe bet we hear about more about all the games that Bobby had listed off there. I mean, Fire Emblem Three Houses is right around the corner. We might see a little bit more of Link's Awakening, Daemon X Machina. Maybe get some release dates on these things finally too. Um, I would hope at least up until where they're ready to do a following direct after that E3. Um, so we'll get the August, September, maybe October dates out there, and then around November time is when they do their next direct, maybe or something like that. Um, just to kind of get out of the way, some of the things that are in question right now. Because I mean, we know games are coming, we just don't know when. Other than Fire Emblem and Astral Chain,
Yeah.
July and August
Here's
respectively. We
here's my
know
question.
Marvel
Here's my
is
question
coming
to you
out.
guys. Like, we know that Microsoft and we know that Nintendo are kind of working well together. Do we see Nintendo show up at the Microsoft press conference?
It's bold claim number 2. I wanted to
What I just mean, like, and what I mean by that is not so much necessarily that Nintendo taking games to Microsoft, but like to go like, hey, this game is going to be playable on the Nintendo Switch, and here comes Miyamoto out to discuss the.
I think that we see a continuation of that play together
Yeah.
ad that we saw last
Yeah.
year with Minecraft, right?
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
last year? I think they continue to build off that somehow, some way. Whether it's at an E3 or not, I think that's going to continue, especially with Sony not being there
Yeah.
this year. That's just like a breeding ground for it's the what the how to share games on your PlayStation 4 moment
Yes.
was for
Yes.
Sony
Yeah.
is what that
Because all I would do is go, listen, we want to play with you guys. We want you guys to play here. And the people that don't didn't show up. And I would just
Yeah.
like let that be the biggest punch in the mouth for the whole week.
Yeah.
And like let that just linger for the week.
Absolutely.
That,
I think at some point though, I would think Nintendo would have to give something to Microsoft.
not really.
Nah.
Not really, because
Like,
here's the thing. Microsoft they're starting to change their strategy a little bit. And what I mean by that,
They're becoming like
they're becoming more like a service based. You look at Apple. Apple has now they're Apple's starting to move more into the service based industry. Google's starting to move service based as we move forward. I think Microsoft sees the future. I think that what Google's doing is where Microsoft saw the ball going. Google just beat them out the gates. And I think that's where Microsoft wants to go and be, and they don't care about this. If Microsoft works a good relationship with Nintendo, this is a win-win for them. Because here's the thing: if they can turn around, right? Let's just say hypothetically, they put Forza Horizon 5 on the Switch, right?
Halo.
And it's not a strong version of it. It's just it's a dumbed down version of it or whatever. What they could say is like, hey, Nintendo fans, if you like this is cool. But if you want the really amped up 4K version, come by, the Xbox, whatever we're calling it. You know what I mean? So I think for them, it's kind of like advertising. It's getting people in to liking their stuff. So much so that rather than buying a PlayStation 4, they buy an Xbox One or whatever it is at the time.
I gotta say, Microsoft has some good ideas, dude. Like all digital Xbox, but they flop on some things. Like they flopped on the price. Like Game Pass, that's like innovating, the industry right now. So I don't know. I could possibly see maybe like a Mario Rabbids, like slowly trickle Nintendo. I don't know. That'd be cool. I feel like that would do well.
Stuff like
I think this goes.
Go ahead, Joe.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I mean I think that goes to your question earlier. The topic earlier is a Switch a good primary console? I mean, if you want to talk about something that might be good partnership together, a good companion to the Switch, maybe that is the Xbox in terms of the way things are going with that crossplay there.
Yeah, I would say an Xbox. If you don't care about the first party games on the PlayStation, you just get Xbox with Game Pass, and you're like set. If you're a Nintendo fan, your mind's blown because all the third-party games on there and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that Nintendo this year for E3, I think we're going to see a lot more support for current games rather than newer games. Like I think they need to start adding some content to games. Mario Party, where you at, bro? But I think we'll see the DLC character for Smash. We might see DLC for Mario Party, or I think this is the last opportunity. I know Bobby's not, but Odyssey, if it was going to get any kind of update or DLC or anything, even Breath of the Wild, they were talking about supporting that game for quite a long time. If they're not going to get sequels at this E3, I could definitely see support for these games. So I think more support than new stuff. I don't know how you guys feel about that in the chat if you're like looking for games, but
temper expectations. I think we'll get at least one or two things that are like, oh crap, but I don't think it's going to be the type of direct that blows everyone out of the water sort of thing. I think this is just going to be another, hey, here's the games that you already know about, but here's more info on it.
Yep. All right, and what are the chances? I think was this debunked already? What are the chances we see any kind of hardware?
No chance. They already said no.
Do they usually do that in like a separate?
Well,
do they do that in a direct type setting, or are they just like a Twitter post?
They did it. Sometimes a Twitter post, but they kind of do it like separate, not really necessarily part of anything. Like that would be something that they would just like kind of drop. Just put like a trailer out and drop it and be like, "Here's the new Switch."
I think those days are gone of the item reveal at the E3 events, right?
Unless it's a new console, but even that you saw Nintendo not do the Switch at all. So I don't think that Nintendo. Plus, not only that, with Microsoft announcing their next console, I don't think Nintendo wants to be in the same conversation. Because whatever Nintendo puts out is not going to even come close to whatever Microsoft is coming out with. And Nintendo doesn't want to be there and people comparing it and then going like, oh, well, it doesn't have this and it doesn't have this. It doesn't. Like, we know that Nintendo's console is going to be far inferior to the PlayStation 5 and whatever Xbox is doing. Nintendo doesn't want to get into that conversation. They want to avoid that conversation at all costs. So I think they're going to stay away from that totally.
Yeah, I think also if you make a big deal about a hardware reveal, you don't want to confuse the market and say this is the next console, because it's more of like a horizontal move, because it's not going to be like anything too crazy. It's probably going to be like a true portable, or like a slightly enhanced 1080 handheld.
Well, the thing of it is, we have to remember, just recently there was a rumor that came out that said that Nintendo. So okay, let's run through the rumors. When it first started out, it was going to be a Switch Pro. And then shortly after that, like 6 months later, it kind of shifted to like a kid-friendly Switch. Then it went to they're gonna do 2 SKUs. Now it's kind of leaning back towards 1 SKU, but that's because the Switch Pro, apparently Nintendo's kind of pumping the brakes on that one just a little bit because they're trying to make it more powerful. And I think what Nintendo's trying to do is they're trying to keep the gap not so far apart. You look at the games that are hitting the Switch right now, and I think that if you would have told us pre-launch of Switch, when we were in the NX stage, if you would have told us, even when they did that first initial launch trailer that they put on Twitter, if you would have told us, any of us right now, that, hey man, this thing is going to have Hellblade on here, it's going to have, Wolfenstein, it's going to have Mortal Kombat 11, and these games are actually going to look good, nobody would have believed it. They'd have been like, no, we're going to go on the portable side of things for lesser graphics. And I think what Nintendo is looking at this and going like, we want to keep this third-party support coming in. There's only one way we do that, and we have to keep the gap somewhat close. Doesn't have to be dead on, like on top of, but they have to upgrade, and they have to do a substantial upgrade if they want to keep on pace a little bit, I think.
Do you think any of the delay for the Pro console is a VR play? You think they're messing around with that on like
No.
an actual level?
I think Labo is not going to do as well as we've all thought it was, but I don't know yet. I believe in Japan it's doing really well, if I'm not mistaken, which isn't really a shocker, I don't think, to anybody. But I think it's doing really well in Japan. Japan might see some more stuff come out, but until they can really get it ramped up, I don't think that happens at all.
Did you guys try the Breath of the Wild VR?
No.
I've not yet. I've been really curious about it. I was
Or
waiting
Odyssey.
for that and the Odyssey. And did the Odyssey come
Yeah,
out at the
both of
same
them
time?
came the same day. Yeah.
Okay.
How about you, Pat?
Tried
Did you
both.
try them or no?
No, I didn't buy it.
Maybe I'll try it tonight. Maybe I'll risk it and throw up all over my living
Watch
room.
out. I was gonna say, have a bucket near you.
I'll tell you, I will say this.
From what I've heard.
Go ahead.
Yeah, from what I heard, it's bad.
Well, I will say this.
Damn.
So the day that I put the VR together, it was Easter Sunday, and I tried it for a little bit, and I was like, "No, sir, I'm out." But then my mom and my cousin came over, and I gave it for them to try. They loved it. My mom thought it was the coolest thing ever, and they weren't getting sick at all. They were playing it, and it didn't bother them at all. So. But my mom was like laughing hysterically. My cousin was laughing. They loved it. So, and they're not gamers. So the thing of it is like maybe that's what Nintendo was looking for. Like, hey, we can get parents and kids in a room to play this together. Maybe they enjoy it. I was blown away though how much they loved it though.
Yeah, it's a good like starter VR
Yeah.
thing. I could definitely see it blowing people's minds. So I think we stole one of Joe's already, but I wanted to ask you guys a bold E3 prediction. So Bobby wasn't here last year for the big E3 betting special. We'll do that again this year. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys put your bold E3 prediction out there. I'll start with Bobby because Joe, you might have to think a little bit more.
Oh no, I got it back up.
So this is one that I brought up on because Toby and I did predictions on tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow's episode that airs of Nintendo PlayStation, and the one that I said and that I thought was kind of bold was I think that they announce DLC expansion for Breath of the Wild, and what I think they do is they give you the option. It's going to be post Ganon. It's going to be after Ganon, the Battle of Ganon. And I think the way to handle it is to kind of steal some of the storyline of Zelda 2. And spoilers for those who never played Zelda 2 on the NES. Essentially, the storyline is it's after you've defeated Ganon, and a wizard actually puts Princess Zelda to sleep, and then Link has to defeat the wizard, the magical being, to break the curse. But at the same time, the villains are trying to kill Link so they could take his blood, pour it on Ganon's bones, and bring him back to life. And I thought about it, and I said, this would be really cool, because they could play it both ways. They could play it where either Link gets put to sleep and you play as Princess Zelda, or Zelda falls asleep, you could play as Link. And they could probably just be like, who do you want to main as? Who do you want to play the game as? And then that's how they go forward with it. But I feel like there's something that they could do. And I would like... Ultimately, I feel like we're going to get DLC expansion. I think it's going to be post Ganon. And that's what I think is going to be a huge announcement that really nobody sees coming.
Some Zelda chic.
I'd be all about it. I'd be all about it, man.
Ooh. Joe, are you sticking with Microsoft?
I was gonna say ARMS. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, please.
So just to clear up, the first one I had backed up was that Games Pass thing, maybe being announced for there. But let's go one wilder. let's go really out there. This would not happen, but I'm gonna put it out there anyway. Microsoft's working on XCloud. XCloud beta announced being available for Switch as a test run, and you need to have the Nintendo Online in order to enter the beta program.
Okay. We're going cloud, right?
Yeah, try. I mean, I'm still for at some point streaming these games is gonna be somehow integrated here in the States onto the Switch. I mean, yes, there are areas that are not going that it's not going to be for, but that's why it's in an alternative, you know. And
Yep.
although it would be games that might not necessarily really run on the Switch, hey, it's gotta start somehow and somewhere, right? So
I think we might need to do that, man. We might need to cloud, like at least the third party games, the demanding games, because Resident Evil. I mean, I know you couldn't get it because the connection, but it runs fine on the cloud. So that could be another Game Pass play.
Yeah.
But were you gonna say Game Pass originally though?
Yeah, I really was gonna say Game Pass. There was that, and then and then just a really random one was what Bobby mentioned before. Somehow, like a Miyamoto moment coming up to the Xbox presentation or something like that along those lines, or someone from Nintendo being representative there at a Microsoft press conference.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it could be. I don't think it could be like a full $9.99, but they could. I would do like a $4.99 if they brought over some pretty good games. I mean, Cuphead alone's $20, so.
Well, for
PlayStation Now.
For $9.99, you're getting for Xbox. You're getting Xbox Live and the Game Pass together.
Oh.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Wait, is that right?
Yes, they're combining the two.
That's their new.
Their new promotion is gonna be they're combining the two.
That's not bad.
That is huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's normally just $60, right, for Xbox Live.
Or maybe they just go. Oh no, I don't think they have enough games. Like the pricing, they need more games for the pricing structure to make sense. But that'd be a cool one. Mine is gonna be. I do think. See, this wouldn't be at E3 though, but who cares? I'm doing it. Didn't Pokemon do a thing at E3 last year, which was weird?
The year before, Matsuda was on announcing that he was working on a Pokemon game, but it wouldn't be out. I feel like
Sun and Moon got not Sun and Moon. Let's Go got the trailer.
Let's Go.
No, Let's Go got a separate
They don't do anything at E3. Yeah. Even the booth was very small for Let's Go last year.
Okay. That's right. You went last year. I forgot about that.
lucky
some of us are big. Some of us are big timing, bro. Sorry.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry. Oh.
All right. So here's my prediction. Okay. So, Animal Crossing takes up about 7 minutes of E3.
Too long.
And for Animal Crossing?
Way too long. That game does not. I'm not saying you're wrong.
We got 15 minutes.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's. I just personally feel that's way too much. The game does not show well.
Yeah, but then again, you can get away with showing like Smash, but you can get away with showing what was that other one?
Xenoblade Chronicles got its own direct.
That one, the pixel art one there got like some serious time. Okay, but anyway, we have 7 minutes Animal Crossing, and then after E3, it's revealed that Animal Crossing will come bundled with a portable-only Switch, a dockless Switch. Okay, and then later we get some Pokemon exclusive dockless Switches, which are the smaller, the Switch Mini. It's happening. It's happening. That's my prediction for right now. We still have the betting special, which is one episode. Or no, it's the pre-show for E3.
Oh, Christ.
That was good last year. The Nintendo. We have 2 Nintendo gurus. Do you remember that? You got pissed last year. I still have that screenshotted. So yeah, I think we're gonna get That's not
You
really
are such a
E3
piece of
prediction, though, so
shit.
I
You
have
know
to
what?
go
Then
E3. We're gonna get
I'm
it.
done with this show. I'm not coming back anymore. I'm done with it.
You are
I'm not sitting here getting beat up week in, week out because of you.
We got the two
beat
Nintendo
up
gurus.
this guy.
You are a star on this show, sir.
Come on now.
Yeah. So now I think we should say which bold prediction is better. So if it's not yours, obviously you're saying, is mine or Joe's better, Bobby?
Mine's the best.
More
What
realistic.
are you talking about?
Someone
No,
should-
I think. Listen, if you want humility, you're coming to the wrong place for that. I would say, I probably think
7 minutes on Animal Crossing. That's realistic.
it probably is realistic, to be honest with you. But it's not. But it's not a bold statement either. So whatever. I'm going to go with Joe. I think Joe is more bold, more brash, and probably going to be happening.
Yep.
Really, you think?
I would not be surprised.
Cloud?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Ooh. What was yours
Man, I
again,
hope
Bobby?
so.
Mine was Breath of the Wild
Wild
DLC expansion.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going with that. Just because like they've said they want to, multiple Zelda games. I don't really Cadence of Hyrule.
That's
like
bull. That's not.
I hope that's not considered.
fan service.
That's all that
Yeah.
is. That's just like. That's all that is.
I also would rather see Breath of the Wild DLC than like. Well, let's wait on Link to the Past. Let's wait.
I think Link to the Past gets announced, but I think it gets announced for 2020. That's not a 2019 game. That's one of those. Hey guys, in 2020, guess what you're going to be playing? Boom, and then that's when the internet absolutely implodes on itself.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how crazy was the Joker reveal in your guys' mind?
Go ahead, Joe.
Dude, that was up there. I'd have to say like it was like an 8 or a 9, just for the sole fact that it really is just like a celebration of characters. Like it could be anyone at this point, as far as like who gets announced. That first announcement was like, oh, okay, we're just gonna pick and choose people now. Okay, so that's real. That one was real. I did not see that coming. I would have
9?
never guessed.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that would have been.
I think
Bobby, for you.
For me, I thought it was unbelievable the fact that they did it the way they did it. Everybody was expecting Metroid stuff to get announced, and then this thing happens, and it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, they're talking about the lights are going out, and this. And I'm like, all right, I know this is fake, but what's happening? And it was just kind of. I felt like, see, if you're a WWE fan, it felt like the Undertaker, like one of those things where the lights go out in the arena, and when the lights come back on, there's a dead man standing behind somebody about to jack their world up. And to me, it was like one of those moments, like that fake, like what's going on with the lights? What's going on? What's with the monitor? And then, boom, it takes off and it's running. And I felt like it was. For Nintendo, it was a huge get. It fired the Smash community back up because everybody's playing that game now again, and I think it was a perfect move for Nintendo across the board. I think everything just nailed on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Well, that was like part one of this question. Like, I feel like it was a 7. I feel like it was out of like left field. Like it was crazy. But for me personally, I've never even seen a Persona game. I don't even know what they look like. But the second part was now this year, assuming we get assuming we get another Smash review on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think it's gonna be? I feel like they have to keep momentum. I feel like it's gonna be another like 7 through 9.
Well, I think there's a definite reveal coming at E3. There has to be, because they got 5 characters coming out by February 2020, and if they only give us Joker at this point, like, they're gonna have to bang out a lot at the end of the year. So I think we definitely get one. Who could it be though? That's the big one. I mean, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't mind seeing like Scorpion or Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat show up. I think that would be pretty cool. Just because to have like Ken and Rai, right, or Ken and Ryu against them, oh, it'd be so cool. But I tell you what, I wouldn't mind seeing either though is Ryu Haibius from Ninja Gaiden. Like that would be awesome.
Dude. Yeah.
Leon Kennedy.
Oh my god.
I just thought of like what the Kirby would look like. Joe, what do you think?
My goodness, man. I mean, dude, you barked up right up the Resident Evil tree, and it's just like, why not? Why not have a Chris Redfield just come in and boulder punch some people? You know, that could be his final smash. He just punches the crap out of a boulder until it like actually knocks into a character or something. You know, I'm gonna go Chris Redfield. I would love to see him in there.
I don't know who. Like, there's been a lot of
like
lot of
Nemesis
rumors about
Tyrant.
like Dragon Quest. Like we got some pretty good Dragon Quest.
The problem with Dragon Quest is this. It's a huge game in Japan, but in the United States, it's not a huge game. And it's like, what character? The other thing too is like, there's not like memorable characters in those games. It's not like a Cloud. Like, to be honest with you, Final Fantasy, other than Cloud or Sephiroth, there's really no characters that you go like, gotta have this character in there that everybody knows. You know what I mean? It's one of those characters that just like it falls on deaf ears, kind of. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, dude.
Is there any first-party characters that would make a splash?
From Nintendo?
I was just looking through
From Nintendo?
Yeah. I feel like,
yeah, but they're not going to bring it. I mean, the ARMS characters would have been kind of cool to bring in. I mean, dude, like, if you brought another...
Gino is still, but I know he's a sticker.
That's not going to happen. So. Yeah, Gino's not going to happen. Because they have the Mii Fighter costume with him.
Yeah, he's a spirit in 2, right?
Like, third party gets so much... Like, it's so out of left field. I feel like a Nintendo character would just be like, oh, okay. He's in there now? Like, Piranha Plant.
It's going to be someone obscure if that's the case. Yeah. Like a Birdo or something, you know?
Something stupid. Yeah, I don't want that crap. I wouldn't mind, like, Mithril or whatever her name is from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Mithra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Because Rex is a Mii fighter now, so that's not going to happen. But she's a spirit too in the game, right? There's so many. There's a million spirits.
So many things that it's just like, all right, if it's this already in Smash, I feel like that kind.
But I also feel like those rules are fan rules that they think. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like Nintendo's never officially said this.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're gonna have a sticker, and do they have stickers of the main characters?
Who the hell cares about stickers?
Stickers, Jesus Christ, spirits.
Who cares about the spirits? The spirits are just a mixture of characters. ARMS characters would be cool.
But they're all
I think unless they're assist trophies, it doesn't matter. Like if they're spirits, it don't matter. They can show up. Assist trophies are the bigger thing. You know, if it's an assist trophy, then I think it's a different animal altogether.
Yeah.
And I know dudes in the chat. If there was ever a Smash to get Shaq in, this would be the one.
Oh,
Triple Zoo wants Steve from Minecraft, which.
Oh Jesus!
That would be a big one too.
Yeah, he would be.
Honestly, it'd be a big one.
It would be big. Like throwing blocks at people and stuff.
What if that's the Microsoft Nintendo play together moment?
Bro.
What if? I mean, seriously, could they bring in like the Rabbids? Like, could they bring in Donkey Kong Rabbid? You know,
dude.
Like,
I was actually that was gonna be my bold prediction is Rabbids 2. It's not that bold, but. I really liked. First one.
That's what I said in the PlayStation. I was one of my predictions. Rabbids 2 this year.
Playable on.
Well,
Xbox.
the thing of it is let's be honest. Ubisoft is a company that turns out games like successful games every year. Yeah. It's been 2 years. There's no reason why, unless they come up with another combo like they've done the past 2 years. Which, if they do that, like, oh my God, could you imagine?
I think we might have missed an obvious one.
Characters?
A character that's been on both Xbox and Nintendo consoles. Banjo.
No, it's not. Would you stop? No, we're not bringing this up. It ain't gonna happen.
Dude.
I'll be honest with you. I don't feel like we will get any North American characters. I feel like the only characters that will come are Japanese characters, meaning like companies that have ties to Nintendo Japan. I don't feel like Nintendo of America has a dog in the race, and they're not going to be able to predict it or push Nintendo to do anything, honestly.
So then we're probably looking at like DS, 3DS titles, like Elite Beat Agents characters, and
No, well, I mean, like that's why I'm saying. That's why I say like Ryu Haibius from there's a Tecmo, it's a Tecmo Koei game. The Dragon Quest, one could be one. There's because there's so many.
I just had one on top of my head.
So many things that you have. I mean, they could go Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
There's too many licensing issues with that.
Not off the main characters.
Disney approval as well.
Not off the main characters, though, do you?
Yeah.
I know they don't normally add.
They're all owned by Disney.
Brand new Pokemon, but I think Pokemon from the new game coming out would be kind of cool. Like, I don't know, one of the starter
Pokemon characters at this point.
You know what? I feel like there are some under represented IPs, but at this point, it's just like.
Yeah. Rhythm Heaven character.
Don't you stop it.
I know that was rumored at one point. No, dude, I'm really trying to think obscure right now. Like, it's gonna be some, like, super left field.
A Bulborb would get me hyped. Yes. I don't know, man. Dude saying Master Chief. I don't know. But then Snake's in it, so it's like anything is really possible.
Yeah.
I just hope, like I was saying before, I hope they don't end it on a reveal, because some people aren't into Smash, and if that's like your final Smash, no one's into.
Would you
stop? If
stop?
that's your final thing, it's like half the people.
No, they're not. Are you insane, dude?
I think you underestimate.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe for me, like Smash characters, I want a game reveal. I want a Metroid moment.
You're not getting a Metroid.
I don't want Steve from Minecraft being the end of E3.
And I think it will be a game moment. I think that's how they seem to, when they want to announce a game, they save it for the last part.
Yeah.
Like when they mentioned about the Animal Crossing thing, they snuck that in a Smash reveal.
Yeah.
Yep.
That could be another thing too. What if the character that gets announced has a game coming out on the Switch? And that's how they use it to reveal another game.
Like a final big game, and then it goes black again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oof.
I actually like that. I
just kind of hype myself up.
Resident Evil 2 remake. And then it goes to
God.
Leon. And then Joe changes his pants 4 times.
Yes,
oh my god.
Yeah. I will change my pants on stream if that's the case.
All right. Yeah, so that's a little sliver of E3. We kind of went crazy there. But yeah, every year I do this. We have a pre-show, we have a post-show. So it's a fun day. It's a busy day. But guys, I've never asked this before, but I was looking at the podcast, I was looking at the audio feed. We only have 3 ratings. What the heck? Give us a rating. Give us a 5-star rating. Or just be honest, say what you like, say what you don't like. And
tell them that you want Bobby off the show.
Yeah.
Yo.
Just make it the Joe Pat show. We'll get I don't even know. We'll tell Bad Bit to shave again.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Oof. Oof.
But yeah, that was episode 77. Thank you guys for live. If you were watching it live, youtube.com/NintenTalk. You can follow these guys, joeafterwork.com, nintendoguru.com. Brand new you, me, and Sean Capri. Wow, look at that Patreon. Thank you guys very much. And we will see you next week, episode 78.